How are we doing, guys? Hope we're okay. It's silad here with another video for you, but this time I'm going to be showing you how to do photography in Valhalla, picking out some best locations day and night just for you and giving you some good settings to work with, as I am a professional photographer, so I'm going to give you the best photographs going. I am on the Xbox. I am not on Xbox X Series or PCs, but I'm going to get the best out of what I've got to show you guys how to take the best photographs. So stay with me. If you're not following me on Twitter or follow me on Twitch, then do go into the section below and go and follow me. Also, hit the sub if you haven't subbed. Much appreciated. Right, so let's get into it. So we're in England. I've many locations. I've still got loads of stuff to do on here, but this is one of the nicest locations going. So if you come to this location, right, okay, if you stand at this window or here, right, you got all there, you got a nice view. We're going to change the view. Best way to change the view, I'm going to take it to daylight. As you can see, I've got a nice sunset now coming across. So if we go into this, we move it to about here. You want to get a good angle on what you're doing. You don't want to be doing something like that or looking up too much. You need to get a good variation of your picture. If you've done photography before, then you'll understand the rule of thirds and things like that. But what we want to try is we want to try and get as much as we can into the photo that looks cool. So we're going to start about there. I think we're going to drop it down a little bit. I think if we go to about here. Well, that looks a really cool photograph. I'm thinking I might get this camp in here because this looks really cool. So it's got the bird as well. So we try and get that bird in so as we can see it's flying there. And I'm going to zoom in a little bit. There we go. That looks a lot better than what we started with. Got the sun at the centre, so we're going to just try and alter that a little bit. Just a bit to there. Right. Now we're going to go into the settings. The depth of field, I'll explain this a little bit to you. The depth of field is how much you want it to be, the background in there, or if you want it blurred, things like that, to stand out more. So if it's like a portrait on the background in, you want this to be like fully 100%. If you want everything in, you need that. 10. Exposure, that's the overall picture lighting, as well as brightness. It kind of like helps to try and level the photograph out, I would say. You don't want it to be too bad. I'm going to go for about there. Contrast, you don't want to go over with the contrast. I always say about 45 is a good area. Also, you can go to 65. That's a good point. But if you're going to do that, then you want the exposure to be around 42, and then it makes it a lot better. Temperature, depending on the climate where you are. I mean, with this, you have like a bit of a blue in. If you want it to be like in the grass, boost up to about 80. 80's around that 80 mark. It's pretty cool. So we're going to go to about 65. Tint, I don't really bother with tint, to be honest. I don't really bother with it. It just makes it look a bit too strange. So we're going to keep that on 50. Saturation, boost the colours out. So if you're trying to boost colours out, make them pop a little bit, I'm going to go, you want them to pop, that's fine. If you don't, you want to go for more of a black and white kind of like photograph, or just a little bit to come through, then you can do that. But I would recommend going to about 60. That's a really good area. Um, Noise. You want to like an old photograph? Plenty of noise. Um, Vignetting, I don't really do a lot of that. That's like focusing on like items really and like portraits. But it's up to you. It's your photograph. If you think you might um, suit your type of subject, go for it. Blooms are quite a nice one already. So if you look at the sun, that's what it does to it. So it kind of like buffs what you're looking at really with lighting. So if you want like a larger glare on stuff, um, things like that, I'm going to take it all the way down because I don't really want a lot. So I might just leave it on 3. Fog. It's really good if you're trying to make that atmospheric look of like a battleground. So if you want to make it like really like in the morning. So that's what we might do. So that looks really, really good. You see the mist. So there we go. Got the mist coming over. And that creates quite a nice scenic view. So once you've done all that, and you don't want to bother with any of the presets, you have got frames you can add as well. I don't really bother with them too much. But if you do go onto like a preset, you do lose what you've put in. So whatever you do, don't do that like I've just done. But I did that on purpose so you guys can understand the difference with it. So we're going to go 42. Contrast, we're going to go to 60, 65. Temperature, leave it. Contrast 65. Well, take it to 60. That's pretty decent. Around the 60 mark. Vignetting, no. Bloom, 1 on 3. Fog, right there. There we go. Then you want to go preview. Now, depending what console you're on or PC, hit the preview button. That gives you your preview. And then that is your photograph. So that is what you're looking at now. Okay? Right, we're going to head into a few more little scenarios, but you won't have my talk through every bit, just to speed things up a bit. So, hope you enjoy this. Hope you enjoy the video, and yeah, man, let me know in the comments if you took any great photos, and where did you take them? Would be quite interested. Right, let's go to it then. Let's check out these other locations. Right then, guys, we're here at the next location. So, I've done my settings. Here we go. 0, 40 on exposure, 70 on contrast, temperature 60, tint 50, 55 on saturation, nothing on noise. Vignetting, I've only got 2. Bloom 5, which you don't really need of that, so take that off. Fog 0. Now, on this location I've picked is a really good location. I'll show you where we are afterwards. So it gets out more of a depth. You want like it built in a bit more like a proper photograph. So you got the first layer here at the bottom where the stone is, a bit with the big rock, and then you got the middle bit which is it's a bit misty and hazy, shadows, and then you got the back, the castle and the sky. So it all builds it up to a good photograph. That's what you're looking for. If you preview, that's the shot we've got. That's the shot that I've taken with the settings. Now I'm only on Xbox One. I was one of the unfortunate ones not to get an Xbox X series. Hopefully, maybe I'll purchase one near enough time when they come back in stock. But yeah, this is for the Xbox One series that I'm doing, but you can use them on others and play around with settings. But this is my next location, which I quite like in Assassin's Creed Valhalla. And I'll show you on the map where it is. So we go out of that. So we'll just preview that. There we go. That's the photo we're taking. If I take that photograph now. There we go. That's done. Okay. Not saved to your library. Right. So if we go on here, it's already taken. Right, so next we're going to go to another location. So that's the one we've covered just, and now we're going to head over to another location. Okay, so join me for that. See you in a bit. Hey all, we're here. I'll show you where this location we're at. So we're here. What's it called? Just by, well, a bit further up than where we were on the last one. On the left part of the map. So if you just zoom out a little bit, there you go. Right, so we're here. Now it's quite a nice little area. We've got the lake in front of us, and then we got Westbury, Quatford, Repton. So I would say you want a nice photograph. Let's go here. Let's go. Okay, so we're looking out over there. We've got quite a nice backdrop, but this time we're actually going to tilt it forward a little bit. Get a bit of the rock in there. I'm going to zoom back a touch just to get a bit of this cliff face edging. So I was saying I like to get like a little bit of detail in. So there's the editor. My depth of field always going to be on 0 for me. I'll take this to 42. I do say 42 is my special number, to be fair. Contrast. No. I'm going to whack that all the way up for this. I'll explain why in a minute. Why I've chosen to do that. Okay, so we don't want any of that. Okay, so there we go. Right. That looks a bit. I'm going to take some of the saturation off. I'm going to take that to 55. There we go. So that looks pretty cool so far. Right, contrast. I did want to go to 100, but we're just going to drop it off a little bit to about 90. There we go. Right. And that just actually really buffs the photograph to what we want. So we want the image, we want the cursor there. Let's have a look now what we've got. And that is what we're after. You can see the colours coming out in the picture. And then we've got a little dark area down on the bottom right hand corner. Now, like I said about if you want to do any extra editing, you can do that to pick out these little shadows, which is quite nice, really. But as I'm only on Xbox, like I say, some of the detail is a bit distorted in areas. But if you're on higher spec, then these views will be amazing. So go for those that I've just recommended. So that's 0 on the go 0 on depth of field, 42 on exposure, 90 on contrast, 64 on temperature, nothing on tint, 55 on saturation, nothing on noise, nothing on vignetting, nothing on bloom, nothing on fog. No preset needed. It's a shame that you can't save your presets, but yeah, go for this. That's what we got. Let's have it. Take that photograph. There we go. Let's move on to the next location, guys. Let's go. Right then, guys, we are here. Show you where we are on the map again. So we are just by Scarborough, a little bit off from the main bit. And this is another nice little area, and I'll tell you for why. And also I'll tell you why. I do like to pop my colours in this section, as I didn't tell you in the last part. But this is probably a better example, to be honest. Right, so there we go. So we're going to go for that photograph. That looks really cool. I'm liking that. It's got a good layout at the back. Zoom in a bit. You zoom in a bit, I think you get a bit more detail in some parts, but don't overdo it. So there we go, roughly go about there. Got a good little light. That looks pretty good for me. Right, get into the editing. Right, so here we go. This time I'm going to go to 42 again. My favourite number. This one's going to be 75. There we go. So 75. Tint. Saturation. We're going to boost that to 63. That's a nice area. So you can put fog in. It makes the photo a little bit different. But I don't want to do that. I want to keep that at the back. Bloom. I reckon we might use a bit of bloom for this. Put bloom on about 10. Okay. Right, so that's our photograph. Let's take a look at that. So why do I use a lot of contrast? Because I'm lacking a bit of detail. It's always good to have a bit more contrast in the photograph. It kind of like helps it in a way, and also it kind of like defines things a little bit more. So definitely go for a little bit more contrast. Don't overdo it too much though. Unfortunately, some little bits are going to be a bit out of details because I'm on Xbox One, as I was saying before. But that is a really good photograph. You've got like you've got a landmark in the background there with the hall. You know, your home, your Viking hall at the back. You've got the tree lines. You've got the shapes of the terrain of the mountains and hills and that. You got the backdrop. You got the sky. You got the clouds. It's just a really good photo overall. So this is a really good location at Scarborough. Some other areas about as well which are decent. We're going to go with that though. I'm going to go with that. Take the photograph. Make sure you save it. Most of my photographs will go on my Instagram, which is silad Instagram. If you have any questions, feel free to pop them in the bottom. We're going to move on to the next location, covering some more of England, and maybe a couple of action shots, maybe as well, if we can get those today. And also, let me know what you think of the video. Drop in the comments what you thought. If there's some areas that you would like me to cover next time, be more than happy. And don't forget to hit that sub if you haven't already. Much appreciated. Right, let's move on to the next one, guys. Right then, guys, here we are. I'll show you where you're on the map again. So we're at Craigstone Watchtower. Really nice area. A few people are taking photographs here. And quite a nice view here. But this time I'm not going to be just taking photographs of the scenery. I'm going to take a photograph of a few buildings as well. So let me just get in position. Right, here we go. I know roughly how this camera works, so just trying to get it all leveled and lined up. There we go. So we're going to go for that photograph. I want a bit of rock in it. I don't want to get too much. There we go. So see, I've got quite leveled out in the middle there. I've got not too much sky, and I've got a little bit of land. In fact, I could go back a little bit more. There we go. That's a little bit better. Right, go into the settings. Depth of field all the way down as usual. We're going to go for exposure.
Interesting.
42. It is evil, isn't it? Lovely photograph. Okay. Right. How much gain do I get out of this? $75 again. I'm going to go for temperature. Now, if you look at this, it changes the photograph dramatically. What we're going to do is see about the green, how horrible it is when you do tinting. Changes things. Horrible that is. That's why I say don't ever mess with tinting. It's a bit weird. It's a bit weird. I got 65. I'm gonna go for saturation. Buff it a little bit, not too much. Keep it around 60 mark for this one. Or should we go lower? Go 55 again. I seem to that's quite a good, reasonable amount. We don't need that. Fog. Don't want any fog. That is it. So we're going with that. Okay. That's pretty cool. Can we get any better than that? Ah. Okay, so we're going to drop it down a little bit lower now. The reason why I've said that is we're going to get a bit more detail in with this one. By the way it is, with the light background at the back and the way the light is. So we're going to drop this to 30. Right, so if you've got the light coming at the back, you want to be looking at a different exposure. So let's go 30. Let's say, yeah, let's say 30 for this one. Okay, that's really good. That is really good. So let's take a look at the photograph that we're taking. There you go. That is pretty cool. Nice little bits of detail in there with the stones and rocks and broken ruins and the clouds in the background and the mountains. You see the trees right at the back. It's really good. Really, really good photograph. So I'll take that one. Now I did say about action photographs, so we're going to see if we can get some of those as well. I'm also going to show you a building photo, how you would take a good building shot. So I want to get a good look at this building. So you want to find a good angle on it. Look at where the light is. Whether it would be a good shot there. I'm going to go here. I think that's a pretty good area. Or what we could do.
Show me.
You can go with the overhead view and zoom in a little bit. If you've never done that before, this is another technique you can do. Zoom in. And that does a nice little overhead cam for those of you who want to get a nice look in on these buildings. It's really good for homing in. So let's try and so this is where the vignetting comes in. There's a vignette. Yeah, you can take it. You can do black and white. We're doing this a bit differently. So 60 on that exposure. There's about there. Don't want any fog because it's just going to ruin it. So get rid of that. Bloom. If there's fires, then you could use bloom, but we're gonna get rid of that for now. So there we go, guys. We want to focus on the building, so make sure it's on there. I'll take this to about 30. There we go. And that's our photograph. And that's our burning building. That's an overhead one. So I'm going to show you now on the ground.
what lies ahead.
Right. So say you want to take a picture of this area here that's been absolutely ruined. There we go. So we'll go with that angle. It's got a nice little feature, got a little bit in the left hand corner there, and we'll go with that. Okay, so next thing is to go for the settings again. Now this time you don't want to go all the way down. As you can see, only just short depth. We want this on 30, possibly more. $35. Okay. Exposure. $42. Contrast. About 60. Can take it higher, but I'm only going to go 60. Temperature. It's up to you what you want to go with that. Want it too crazy? I'm going to go 45. Tint. Don't want any tint. Saturation. You can make it into an old picture if you wanted to. If you wanted sepia, trying to find sepia for you if I can. That's probably your nearest to sepia. I don't know if there's another way you can get it. Could be another way. Hang on. I'll try green. There is a way you can get sepia. Like, there's that kind of like look, which isn't too bad. So that's 30 on that one. Temperature on 100. Which is really good. And that's probably your best, to be honest. There we go. That's pretty cool. And there's your photograph. So preview that. We want to try and change it a little bit more from where we are. So let's go back to composition. And let's we can tilt the camera to different ways. I'm going to tilt it a little bit. Tilt it a little bit that way. And zoom in. Just adjust it a little bit more. There we go. That looks awesome. It's filling the frame, getting everything you need. Like I say, it'd be better on next gen if you've got next gen. Obviously, unfortunately, I haven't got that. But yeah, man, have a go. Take some photographs. A few settings there for you guys. Try out. So there we go. Take that photograph. Get snappy. I'm also going to cover some other areas as well. But like I say, drop yourself a comment below what you thought of the video. If there's anything that you want me to cover. Some really great locations. Before we go though, we're going to try and get an action shot. So then next time I want to cover wildlife, as I've took a few of those. So let's head to an area where there might be some enemies. Right, I'll catch you in a minute when I've found somebody, and then I'll show you how we do it, okay? Hey guys, here we go then. I found somebody on a horseback. We're going to see if we can get a fight off this guy. And I'll show you a photograph. Okay. Oh, here we go. We got a big dude. Here we go. Right, so now we've started the battle. Right. So I'm at this location. This is where I found my fight. You can find them anywhere across the map, traveling. Maybe it might be in a raid, but I found here was a good location for me. So let's go take this photograph. So as you can see, it looks a bit crazy sometimes when you hit it. But you want to get, it's all about timing. You see how it all like looks horrible. It's just really bad sometimes. It's all about timing. So what you want to do is just keep trying. When you get your I mean that's not great either because the axe is on the floor now. And it's killed him. So it was all about timing really, unfortunately. So there's your test run all there. So it is trial and error, guys. It is really trial and error. Got two enemies here. Oh, so there we go. We got quite a good shot there of quite a good one. But the problem is the blood. You see the blood how it. Now, if you actually go into the settings, you can turn blood off. But I don't know exactly how bad that's going to be. So let's try it. I don't know if that just kills the whole thing. Let's just try it with blood off. Just to show you exactly what we're looking at here. I can remember where it is. Gameplay. Blood effects off. Okay, let's just see how this looks now. Okay. Okay, so you have to reload. Right, so we won't try that yet then. Wasn't aware of that. Let's see if we can go for another one. Wasn't sure that it would do that, but... Oh my days. Mom! So that's not too bad for an action shot. So you could get away with getting this angle maybe for an action shot. Or there. I should have carried it on a bit. Didn't even know I could do that move. But yeah, it is a bit trial and error with it really. I have took a few on my Instagram, which you will see on there. But yeah, it is pretty much luck, to be honest. Here we go. I'll show you what we can do with the animals anyway. Here you go. Look. with the animals, there you go, you can go right here and you can take a nice animal photograph. What you want to do is depth field to about 60. Put it on there. But if you wanted to just have the actual sheep itself, I'd go for that. Okay, that's it from me, guys. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoy. I'll catch you soon. Don't forget to sub. Don't forget to leave a comment if you like the video.